Not that I was going to give a countdown anyway. I'm really getting kind of tired of those really fast. Leaning just a little bit to the west. I forgot to start SAS. So let's tip back to the east a little bit, fix that, and get the SAS going. That's better. Hey Bob, you want to go EVA? You're only going 146 kilometers or meters a second. Okay, we're not exactly in a very great angle here, but it's time to start the gravity turn. Actually, a little past time. Oh, for crying out loud. Perhaps now we'll have a little better control. Use some RCS. Pointed back on the 90-degree line. That's better. Well, it was better until I tried to refine it. Let's get pitched over. Okay. Apoapsis is plenty high. So busy trying to fix the angle, I forgot about paying attention to the apoapsis. That's really kind of dumb. All right. Go ahead and run time ahead to get closer to the apoapsis. I hope that my inattention to detail hasn't cost too much fuel. Oh, for crying out loud. I went zooming right on by. I need to get pitched over pretty much horizontal here. And let's do this. Bring that periapsis up to a positive number. It does not have to be 117 or whatever. So much for trying to be efficient about fuel use. Right now, I'm just trying to keep this from being another aborted mission. But the periapsis is coming closer to a positive situation. Although it's beginning to look like the lander may be the only part of the ship that gets to the moon. I was thinking about sending it to Minmus, but with the fuel used right now, that, I believe, is no longer an option. Okay, we have a positive periapsis. If we get that up to about 70, we'll be doing good. Burnout. And now we're using lander fuel, of which we only have one tank. So, Bob Kerman, guess who's not going to the moon? Oh, yes, of course. We're still in atmosphere. I guess I'll be speeding up the video or making a cut. I'm going to go ahead and park this thing in orbit, and then we're going to try again. Perhaps having a pilot that isn't quite the super wuss that Bob Kerman is might give us a little bit better results. Okay, here we are, just over 3 minutes out from apoapsis. And so, I'm going to turn this thing around prograde, going to raise the periapsis, and Bob can spend some time in orbit thinking about things. Studying the effects of weightlessness on chickens. What do you think about that, Bob? Okay. And we burn. And the periapsis comes up. And that's high enough. All right. Bob is in orbit, and he's going to stay there for a while. Meanwhile, we're going back to the Space Center, and we're going to try this launch again with the Lander 1B. This time I will pay closer attention to things. Bob Kerman will not be distracting me with his wissiness. We have Gergard Kerman in the pilot seat this time. Okay, SAS on. Precision controls, throttle up, go. This time we're holding straight and true. I think we'll have a better orbit this time. Solid booster separation is good. Velocity dropping just a little bit at first, and I believe, yes, now it's climbing again. second stage, you should have ample reserve delta V. Coming up on gravity turn real soon. $300 meters a second. Let's start turning. Nice and gradual. Get back on a 90-degree. Tip over some more. That's good. Apoapsis is up to 61. Okay. Gergard is almost as much of a wuss as Bob, but we seem to be managing. $74 kilometers. I'm going to cut this off at 80. $80 kilometers, cut the engine. All right. Get back right down here onto the horizon line. That's good. All right. Now we coast for just a little bit, not very long because we're only 30 seconds out from apoapsis. $20 out. And let's go ahead and start the burn now. Bring the periapsis up. Calm down, Gergard. Or would you like to join Bob at high orbit? Okay. Looking good. Orbital velocity increasing. And our periapsis is coming up quickly. And we have a much better inclination. Not a great one, but it's a lot better than the last time. Periapsis is rising a lot faster now. Now it's positive. And cut. All right. We're good to go. And now it's just a matter of coasting ahead until we see moonrise. Getting out of time compression once in a while here to just correct the ship's attitude so that it's not very far out of position when the time comes. Thank you very much. The ship is not under acceleration. And once again, I want to make this moon injection burn without looking at the map. And there's the moon. One more quick correction. And we burn for the moon. Two million meters. And the lander module is going to be the only part going. Any bets on whether this is a one-way trip for Gergard? I mean, even assuming he survives the landing, he may end up staying there until a rescue mission can bring him back because he won't have enough fuel to do it. Burn is looking good. Correcting the pitch just a little bit. Six million meters. Halfway there. Plenty of fuel remaining. Who knows? Gergard might be able to come back after all. Unless, of course, he suddenly volunteers to stay there and study things long term. Throttling back. .3, 12.4, 12.5. Cut. All right. Now let's have a look at the map and see if I was right. Yes, he has a moon encounter in 4 hours and 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and warp time ahead to that point. It's periapsis, 279 kilometers. Okay. We're nearly in position. Okay. All right, Gergard. You are approaching the moon. How do you feel about that? Gergard German, you just entered orbit around the moon. What are you going to do next? Go to Disney World? Who remembers those commercials? All right, get turned around retrograde. And it looks like there's going to be plenty of fuel for a landing. Okay. Let's go ahead and close in some. Okay. Yeah, I'd say that's getting to be pretty good. Let's see, time to periapsis, 1600 seconds. Let's go ahead and get closer. Getting there, getting there. All right. Less than 2 minutes out. Let's correct position. This thing is so responsive, I thought precision controls weren't on. Alright, we're above a pretty decent looking spot right there. We might just try for a landing there. Meanwhile, let's see about closing this into an orbit. Okay, we have an orbit, and it is beginning to become reasonably sized. Shrinking down quickly now. Backing off the throttle. Shrinking the periapsis down nice and low. Let's bring it down some more. All right. Let's have a look at things here. All right, let's swing around. Get out to apoapsis. Actually, to periapsis, and bring the apoapsis down. Ooh, holy lag. A lot of lag there as we got close. Okay. Let's flip around. And bring down the apoapsis. That shouldn't take much thrust at all. And I think it's a good idea to circle around to the day side and find a landing spot there so that we can actually see what we're doing. Okay. Let's swing around to the daytime side. If I can find the direction we're going. There we are. Lunar sunrise. Looks like our best shot is going to be over here somewhere. Maybe this crater. Let's get over here above it. There's Kerbin over the horizon. Alright, let's flip around and do a braking maneuver and start a landing. Okay, looking good. Looks like we're going to miss that crater, but oh well. We don't have fuel to be picky. Adjusting my position to keep in line with the retrograde marker. Canceling out the horizontal velocity that way. Looking good. Back off the throttle a little bit here. In fact, back off of it a lot. Gravity is so slight here that you don't really need a whole heck of a lot. And we'll be vertical soon. Very nearly there. Holding about 54 meters per second descent. We are go for landing. At this point, we have to. There isn't enough fuel to get back. Gergard is going to be taking a prolonged vacation on the moon. Okay. Yeah, there's enough fuel here for a landing, but not enough for a takeoff and return. Unless, of course, he could manage it on thrusters. Start reducing our velocity a little bit more. We are almost straight vertical right now. $38,000 meters. Of course, I don't know how far that is to the surface. I mean, this thing doesn't, you don't know how high that particular area you are is. I was going to say it's showing altitude above sea level, but there is no sea level here. Back off the throttle a little bit. Don't want to start going up at this point. In fact, let's just let it fall for a little bit. Watch the velocity and don't let it get over 100 meters a second. Gergard seems to be enjoying the view. But of course, if he's true to form with what I've seen so far, when it comes time for the landing, he'll crap his pants. throttle a little bit. See if I can find a setting that will keep us right around 100 meters a second. It's fairly rough, slightly hilly terrain, it looks like from here. Start slowing down some more. And just for giggles, let's put out the landing gear. Descent looks good. We're slowing down to 22,000 meters. They should have some kind of radar or something that can tell you your exact altitude above the local ground. That would be a good thing to have, a good mod at the very least. I mean, you'd think if these people could manage a spacecraft, they could handle making up radar. Fuel's getting pretty low. We may be finishing this on thrusters, I don't know. Either that or we'll land with a whisper of fuel left. Bring the RCS online. That wasn't what I meant to hit. We are tipping. I can't seem to find the... Oh, there we are. Oh, I slowed down too much. That's why that marker went away from the center. Okay. 15,000 and still descending. I have a sneaky feeling I'm going to end up speeding up a bunch of this in the editor, or maybe even making some cuts. Because it is taking a while, but landings tend to do that. You have to be careful, you have to be slow, and you can't do it fast. Well, no matter what happens, this is a one-way trip for Gegard. Even assuming he survives the landing, there isn't enough fuel to go home. Which is why I'm going to feel free to use all the RCS in the braking. I seem to have an engine throttle setting that is holding, and by using the RCS I can slow down even more. Oh boy. Next lander I build is going to have 2 tanks of fuel. I am honestly surprised that we haven't run out of fuel yet. Ah, 7,000 meters. And if you think this is taking a long time watching it, try doing it. There is simply no way in the world to speed this up outside of a video editor. There's like 2 or 3 pixels worth of fuel left. Problem is I don't know how high up this hill is we're landing on is. I mean, we could run into it at 3,000 meters, or 1,500, or 4,000. Without some kind of radar or something, we'd have no way to know. That's it. We're out of fuel. All we've got left is the RCS. And ladies and gentlemen, we are accelerating despite full RCS. I'd pop the parachute, but it wouldn't do any good here. This is not looking good. Hit the ground at 50 meters a second. That's it. I could try staging at the last second. Why not? It wouldn't hurt. You're doomed anyway. Well, and I thought this was going to go so much better. The next lander will carry a lot more fuel. So, well, we know what happened. So, another lander will be built. And another attempt will be made. And this next lander will carry a lot more fuel, at least 2 fuel tanks full. And the booster that gets it up there will have more oomph so that none of the lander's fuel needs to be used before the actual landing is in progress. In the meantime, take it easy. I'm out of here.